Hey everyone, it's Erin Reed Makes for Realeather, and today we're going to take two leather kits, create them, but laser engrave them. This one we're going to do a fill design. Just look how cute this is. I love how the pouch looks with that laser design on there. And then with the little pouch, how we added that beautiful floral layer. I mean, just take a look at that floral layer on there. All right, so let's jump in and let me show you how to make them. So here are two leather kits that we're going to be adding a little bit of fun to. Now you can make these totally plain, but why not add a little design it with a laser. So in your kit, you get all of these elements. So not only do you get the kit itself, but you also get the instructions about how to put it together. And you can also head over to the YouTube channel, which where you're watching this. And there are fun YouTube videos to do other things to decorate this kit, but also how to assemble it, which we're also going to do at the end of this video as well. So you're going to get the main part of your pouch. You get your inside flap, which fits there. You have the outside flap. You have your little latching piece. And then you have, whoops, just don't lose that like I almost did. Stay, don't go anywhere, stay. And then you have your wax cord, and embedded in that, you also have your needle. We're gonna get to these pieces in a little bit because first of all, we are gonna take this piece. You're not gonna see this one, so we're not gonna bother with that. And this one, and we're gonna add a beautiful laser impression to these two pieces of leather. All right, let me show you this kit before we head over to the laser. So for here you see the two outside pieces of your leather pouch. You also have your instructions, which are on the back side of this. That way you can see your instructions. And then you have your little loop, which is going to be, here you can see it better with my hand. So when you look here, it's this piece right there. You have your drawstring, and then you have your wax cord. And again, your needle is inside of there. So you guys can see that needle right there. We are not going to be messing with these pieces while we run to the laser. Let's go take it over and get it lasered. So here is my laser, and then here are the two pieces that I am going to laser and etch, and I'm going to place them in here. So we're going to do one, and the design I'm picking is something that it doesn't matter where it starts and stops, and then I'm going to do the second just like this. This is what we're going for, and we're just going to etch the entire thing. It's going to be this cool floral pattern on the whole thing. And just for anybody who's wanting to know with leather, for this particular project we're doing speed at 3.9 and a power of 20. To close the lid and then get started. So it's all done. We're going to open it up and just take a look at those. Look how fun that is. We're going to much better look when we take it back over to the desk and put it together, but look how pretty. There's one and there's two. So we're going to put this in here. Now, I don't always like going super close to the edge because I want my print to go just off the edge. And in case you're wondering what this little honeycomb thing is, just to make sure that we don't cut into the base of our laser. And that way everything is all good. But however you want to run your laser, that's what you can do. This one's going to be a little bit different because it's more of a fill file. So it's going to be a little bit different than the last one. And it's still going to look super cool. All right, laser time it is. That looks pretty darn cool. That is awesome. Just look how cool that is. I love that subtleness in that stitching. That is just so cool. Okay, so the first step, or now the next step, is we need to put in our screws. So it goes into this piece right here, and there's two parts, but the gist of it is you put the flat end back onto here, make sure to pop it in there. It's a nice snug fit. And then put this over, and you're gonna screw this in place. Now, if you want to make sure that you have a nice firm fit, you can hold the little knob and just tighten it. You don't want to go too terribly tight, but you want it to be snug so it doesn't pop off on your, like it doesn't fall off. And then that's that piece. Now it's time to put the whole thing together. So you take your one piece, and there is a rough edge and there's a smooth edge. It is purely up to you because this one is going to be embedded within the wallet. So do you want to have the smooth edge facing a rough? Do you want to have two roughs? Do you want to flip it this direction and then place this down? Pay no attention, I was doing a test run on the inside. How you put this part together, that is your call. And I would say just do your preference. So we're going to go in and we're going to start right here. We're going to pulse all the way through, leave a section right there. So now we're going to come and do a whip stitch, and we're going to leave that off to the side because we're going to come back to that. We're going to miss and do every other one and go from the bottom. And we're going to go all the way around And I'm just going to speed this part up because it's just me stitching going all the way around. Now, this top section right here is going to be a weak point. So we're going to, this right here, this top stitch. So we're going to go back through it again just to give it a little bit more of some extra stitching. We're going to do one stitch just right on itself. And then now we're going to come in and we're going to do the other stitch. So we're going to come back to here and we're going to cross over. So we've got a little bit of a change, and now we're going to do the other stitch going the other way. And as we do that, you're going to create the X. Now when we get back up to the top, we're going to want to do a full round. Be careful, little tail, we want to keep that out. We're going to go round it once, and we're going to do a second one just to make sure it's nice and secure. Because this is going to be a weak point, because this is where it's going to get opened a bunch. So we want this to be nice and secure. We secured it over here. We're going to do the same thing over here. So now we're going to go back through again. And again, we're not going to go all the way through. We're going to come into the inside right here, and we're going to pull this part through. So now, nice and secure. I probably did one too many, but that's okay. And what we're going to do with our two pieces right here is we're going to do a little square knot. Crazy long strand, and you have some extra wax rope if you want to use that. That's totally fine. And then give yourself a nice square knot. Square knot. And make sure it's nice and secure. It's going to hold even more secure because it is wax. And then give it a nice tug and make sure it's not going anywhere. It shouldn't, because we've really bound it really well on either side. And then trim this part up so we don't have our loose pieces. If you just go flush with the edge, you should be good. And just kind of tuck those in there. And then here is our little book. So you can put cards in here. This is an old gift card that I happen to have. I use as props. So these obviously fit in here just fine. Business card would fit in here. You could use this for playing cards, business cards, money, gift cards, credit cards. It's just a little mini wallet. And this is a little snug right now, but over use, this is going to come nice and weathered. It is obviously so pretty with that gorgeous design. Look at that design on there. So cool. And there it is. And I love that little X stitching going all the way around. That's the first one. So here they are all done. Now, one thing with the laser, you can tell as it comes off, it gets a little bit on your hands. So just take a paper towel and just kind of clean it off. If you want to, so see how it's just kind of getting some of that dust off. It's just dust. And just wipe it down. If you want to get this a little bit wet with some water or a baby wipe, you can do that. And it's just removing the dust. So I'm going to quickly de-dust both of these. All right, I've kind of taken all the dust off, but just look at that cool design. It's a little bit wet because I used a little bit of a wet towel, but it's going to really pop on that design. First step is we're going to lace these. We're going to put these together. We're going to invert them. So just thread our needle through here. We're actually going to go from the inside because this whole thing is going to get flipped around. The big change to this is I'm only going to go around one time, and I'm changing up the stitching. So I'm going to come to here. I'm going to go around this twice because this is going to be a pressure point in the satchel. So go around twice and make sure the stitching stays on the outside. So not up to the top. We want it to go on the outside. If you want to go a third time just to be safe, by all means, go for that. I think I am. So I'm going around this 3 times just to really make sure that this is nice and secure. And now I'm going to tie this with a square knot. And this is nice and secure. Make sure it's not going to come out, like it's on there, right? All right, line these up, and we're going to do a whip stitch going all the way around. And if you want to have this come down so you're not going to tie it, you can do that as well. So it just kind of keeps it embedded into, or you can cut this off. I'm going to kind of keep it embedded in here so it gives it even more stability. That way the knot doesn't come as loose. And just, we're going to go each strand through here. Keep on whip stitching this all the way around. And I'm going to speed this up. All right, when you get to the end, it's going to look like you're uneven. You're not, just because you've been going at an angle, which is totally fine. And so you're going to come back in and you're going to go through this whole about 3 times. You want this to be nice and secure, give it lots of good strength. Come at it from the other angle and really get in here. And again, keep your binding on the outside here, because this is where you're going to get a lot of the strength. I'm going to actually go through this 4 times, and then now I'm going to come in and we're going to tie a little knot. We don't have the extra length here to tie the square knot like we're doing, so we're going to go back in through itself and create like a little half hitch, and then I'm going to go back into here and create a little half hitch again. And then the last step is I'm going to go in just to give it extra binding, and I'm going to weave this back in on itself, kind of like we did on the other side, just giving a little bit more strength. Because I'm not cutting it at the point, I'm cutting it down further. Let's just weave this all the way back down in through here. And you don't have to go all the way. So about to there, and now I feel like I've woven it back in about the same length here, and now I can cut it. It just gives it even more strength because it's now bound inside of the webbing itself. And now, just like with fabric, you're going to invert it. So we invert the entire bag. And just, you want to go in and you can use the edge of your scissors and just kind of poke through the corners here to make sure they get kind of poked in. As you're using it, you're going to feel it even more. And that's the beginning of your little pouch. Look how cute. And it's all like super, super secure now. All right, so you have your little lacing, you have a little stopper. This all comes in the kit, which is just really super nice. And we're going to go in and out. So you're going to want to go in, and then we go out, and we're going to go all the way around this entire piece. Pull it tight. Here we go. In, out, in, out. Because truly when your bag is open, you only need, and then you have this extra. So this, all of this, you can save for later. Cut this off. Mine. And then for this part, you have your little stopper. I chose not to do any kind of engraving on this one, but you can. And you want to have it so that you can see the pretty side. So we're going to go in, out, or you can do the rough side, whatever side you want. You can color this, you can stain this. You can do as whatever you like with it. So up and out. And then, did I do that right? Well, I did it either way. Like you can do it funky like me, or if that bothers you, you can do the same direction. Apparently I was not doing the same direction the first time. Okay, drawstring it up, and then to tie this close, this is like your little stopper. You just pull this in and it kind of acts as like a little stopper grade. And then if you want, and I have now unabashedly made my ends the wrong length, you can just do a little, and that way this doesn't come off. You're going to want to put like stopper ends to the end of this. So just tie them together, just like that. And now when you're ready to open your bag, you open that up. And now you have the perfect little satchel that you can take with you to any of the fun Renaissance fairs, Scarborough fairs, forest fairs, all kinds of fun stuff. Or you just want a different little handbag to take somewhere. Very cool. Whatever design you want to put in with your laser, tie it closed, and boom, we're ready to go. And now you can like attach this to your belt. You can throw this as like, you can actually undo this and it goes around your wrist if you want a little wrist purse. So look how fun both of these projects were just by taking the leather and engraving it in whatever design you want. This one we did the filled in design, so you could see more of the darker areas of the leather. This one was a more of an open-ended floral design, but sky's the limit with your engraver. Whatever design you pick can go beautiful on leather. If you're wanting to grab either of these 2 kits to make these fun crafts, either with or without the laser engraving, head over to your big box craft stores or check online for where you can find these amazing kits. And don't forget to check out the rest of the Realeather channel for all the amazing projects and ideas that you can create at home on your own. Bye, everybody.